on. And if you like this, you can follow me. So let's go. Follow me. And let's go to the place where we belong and leave our troubles at home. Come with me. We can go to a paradise of love and joy, a destination unknown, known, 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 unknown, known, 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 unknown, known, 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 destination unknown. The crowd, the air is clean, the ocean's blue. I love that sound. We're happy for this destination we found. And if you want this, you can follow me. Let's go. Follow me. And let's go to the place where we belong and leave our troubles at home. Come with me. We can go to a paradise of love and joy, a destination unknown, known, 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 unknown, known, known.
Just feels tight. Just feels tight. just feels tight.
watching all night. We ain't here to hurt nobody. So give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Wanna see you work your body. So give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Boys in the party, everybody put up their hands. I get a half a mil for my feet, you get a couple bricks. Never gon' see the day that I ain't got the upper hand. I'm respected from California, I ain't way down to Japan. I'm a real producer and you just a piano man. Your songs don't top the charts, I heard them, I'm not a fan. Niggas talking greasy, I'm the one that gave them their chance. Somebody need to tell them that they can't do it like I can.
Traders, that time again. All right. Well, normally it'd be Money Monday to start off the week, but we're obviously not going that route. Guys, welcome. I hope you guys had a really good holiday weekend. I did. This is Scrooge's Juice Bar, where we try to find the juiciest place for you every single day. I like to call this the blue collar edition, meaning simply enough, we're looking for plays that the people who can be here, who cannot be here at the opening bell, might be able to still get some plays at the end of the day, right? So we go over shorts, we go over swings, we go over straddles, and we go over spreads. And all of these plays are stuff that you can do at the end of the day. We've noticed a lot of the short squeezes will actually be breaking out right at the end of the day, and you can jump in with some shares and try to ride them up, overnight. Or there's definitely a lot of different ways to play those. We're going to get right into that right now. So the first thing we always do is the short squeeze. Now, first of all, if you have not seen my short squeeze masterclass, it will not only tell you how to get yourself a watch list of short squeeze candidates, but it will also tell you how to identify what the short squeeze actually looks like when it's happening. Then it's going to tell you all the different ways that you can play it. I gave you about a handful of different ways that you can play these short squeezes, okay? So, go check that out. Spend a little time learning that. And, not a bad idea to get out a notepad and go ahead and take notes along the way to make sure you don't forget or lose anything, okay? So definitely something we like to do every time is the short squeeze play. Now, the first thing we always do before we get started is we run down plays that we were looking at on other days, okay? So we had talked about DJT a lot. I have been talking about this one in Discord. I am severely bullish on DJT right now for the squeeze option, for the squeeze potential, right? So this is a play that has not started its squeeze yet. Here we've seen a pretty good upward trend over the period of a couple days. However, I don't believe that was the actual squeeze. Okay, I believe that was from $30 to $55. So that's a pretty good run, but I don't feel like that's the one, guys. I feel like and you can kind of see it just ramping up a little bit here. I see a big pop coming where we get at least a double up, if not a triple up. So I'm been watching DJT. It definitely looks like it's starting to take that upwards turn now. But as far as what we look for in our short squeeze candidates, we really just don't see it yet, right? So this is what we would be looking for. This is what FFIE did when it squeezed. You can see we get this nice like ramp up, huge spike, and then comes crashing down. Well, with DJT, we got a little bit, excuse me, with DJT, we got a little bit of that ramp up, but no real big spike yet. So the shorts came in, they pulled it back down. They've been pulling it back down. I actually checked out this stock on Fintel. I haven't been on here in a while, so it's probably not logged in. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, so we go over here to the Fintel leaderboard. You guys can see that DJT is actually number one. And the reason for that, I believe, is because of the shares to borrow. They just really don't have a lot of shares to borrow. So when the shorters are going to start getting pushed out of their position and they want to go ahead and add to their position to make sure that the line holds, they're not going to be able to do that because there's no shares available. And as a matter of fact, in the last, I want to say 2 weeks, I've never seen it over this 15K right here. So back when we used to have like 80,000 shares available, it wasn't in that much of a danger zone. Now I just feel like it's ready to rip. It's ready to go. So I've had this one on high alert for about a week, maybe 2 weeks now. I've been telling people because my thought is like this, right? If we know that these short squeezes can double, triple, quadruple a price, or even times 10 or even times 100, like we've seen with FFIE. With FFIE, it went literally from 4 cents to $4, guys. That's 100 times movement is what's possible from these squeezes, right? So if DJT, I'm not going to say 100 times, but if they went up 10 times from where they are now, that could be a really big runner, right? But do you have to catch these things ahead of time to play them? Absolutely not. And that's where my short squeeze masterclass is really going to help you guys. You will be looking at these squeezes in a totally different direction. And rather than being the Johnny come latelys or the FOMO Franks that get in there at the end and want to try to get the last little tip and last little bit of movement, and then a big reversal comes and they get stuck holding bags, don't be that guy. Okay, so we can trade these a little bit smarter. All right. So the other thing that we went over just recently, and this is actually not in my short squeeze masterclass, was rather than putting up a watch list, how about finding them as they're actually breaking out, right? So we came up with this idea here where the other day I came up with two really good calls. It was BuzzFeed and Barnes and Noble. It was these two here. And all I did, guys, is I woke up, I looked at them the morning before. Let's see, there was a big old spike. Here, I don't like this. BZFD. So all I did was wake up. I did this stock screener, not this one. This one here, we'll go back. Okay, and I clicked pre-market gainers, right? And I seen these guys were on the list, BuzzFeed and Barnes and Noble. So what did I do is I went over and I did a little research. Okay, is there any news about these guys? Well, Barnes and Noble looked like it was at the other end of a squeeze. Nothing really, no information about it at all. We've seen that the squeeze actually started here a couple days before I was talking about getting in, which was somewhere around here. I was showing, Discord, like, look, guys, look, I called it. Well, I also missed it because I had all my money tied up in other plays. I wasn't able to play that one. So, or as BuzzFeed, one or the other. So yeah, BuzzFeed, same thing. It was just Vivek Ramaswamy was, announced that he had a bunch of it. So the price ran up. Well, it's still BuzzFeed. It's still, a stock that wasn't great. So why think that it wasn't going to come crashing down? So personally, I like to put all the way down. As far as open positions, I am currently in. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this FFIE. All right, so FFIE's got an earnings coming, guys. I didn't know that. So when we alerted that and we were talking about shorting this all the way down to $1 was the first price target, 70 cents was the second price target, I was unaware that an earnings was coming up. So today I actually liquidated about half of my positions. I put that in Discord. I let everybody know and basically just really focused on, not wanting to ride place through earnings unless you want to do a straddle, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. If you guys have never done that, it's a pretty cool way to play it. But, as far as, this, I have expectations for what I expect a short squeeze to do based on what we've seen them do time and time and time again. And that's what we're gambling on. It's just, repetition, what they usually do. So when you see an earnings play, and I've actually seen a few of these short squeezes through the earnings plays, there's no guarantee it's coming down. I'm not going to take that bet. I'm not going to ride that ride. So I've gotten rid of almost all of my positions on FFIE as far as the puts. But I did open a GameStop put today. It's like 23 days out. It's all the way back at like $12. I just expect it to come down about halfway again before then. It gives me 2-3 weeks for it to crash down again, and even if it only makes up half that distance in between where I picked and where it is now, I should do okay. So I went ahead and grabbed a put there. But other than that, I'm not. I wasn't able to grab a lot of these. So pre-market, a lot of these were low prices, no options available, right? And then when the options were available, it was that volume issue we were talking about. Remember where you have the two mobs on each side, and if they don't agree on a price, it's because there's not enough people on each side. There's no volume, right? The more volume there is, the bigger the mob is, the closer that spread's going to get. That's how we can get filled on our buys and our sells, or our entries and our exits, at a price that makes sense, or that doesn't take some money back off the table, right? We worked hard for our profits. We don't want to lose it because there's this a misnegotiation between the buyers and the sellers. So when we get into that, if you guys don't know anything about that, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. So just stay tuned for that, okay? So as far as the short squeezes today, I really ran down them, and then after the market opens, guys, you could just come in here, click top gainers throughout the day, and just keep an eye on anything that's just spiking like crazy. Just because it's spiking doesn't necessarily mean it's a short squeeze. So we're going to be looking for that like traditional movement that we can identify as, hey, this must be one of those squeezes. I will say that the AWIN, I don't remember seeing this earlier. So let's go ahead and just do this one for you live, guys, and let's see if we're getting a squeeze. If we're getting okay, yeah, I didn't see that earlier. So excuse me. Okay, so we see a squeeze here. It definitely squeezed, and now it looks like it's trying to break that. Okay, cool. So according to our masterclass, what are we looking for, guys? We're looking for it to retest these levels and either break or not make it, right? Not make or break. There you go. Excuse me. So right now we'd really be looking for puts, but we're not going to put it while it's still in momentum. There's no guarantee this thing is even close to done. The first time it went from $3 to $9, which is a 3x movement. So we could definitely see $30 incoming. 10x, we've seen it 10x many times. We've seen 100x, but 10x, once it's past that 3x, we can start thinking, okay, maybe it's going to 10 times. So if it fails here, definitely keep an eye on this. This would be something I'd be interested in possibly putting back down. So we come over here and we take a look. And I would actually add it to the list and keep an eye on it. And as you see right here, nothing's popping up for options. So it's not optionable. It's not something I'm able to put. And we talked about never shorting a short squeeze play as it's squeezing, especially. It's just really really risky, and it's something that we don't like to trade risky. We don't do that. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for my short squeeze rundown. Definitely watch the masterclass for any kind of information. Right here is kind of what we went over in the masterclass, is that you can use FinViz. You get the float short right here. That's your first indicator that something's about to squeeze. You can make a watch list from all of these and just kind of keep an eye on them and wait for them to actually start squeezing. Or we can just go over here day by day, keep refreshing this. They also have an aftermarket one. The aftermarket one's actually really good because a lot of them don't really pop until the aftermarket, and that'll give you an idea of what you want to play the next day, right? So definitely take advantage of these screeners that will give you like a heads up. Like after hours, these will all come up, and then you can just watch whatever's squeezing, whatever's going nuts. Compare that with the news. Is there any news? No, there's no news. Okay, it sounds like this might be a squeeze or a pump and dump or whatever. Something that we can capitalize on. Some big movement that should expect some equally big, or at least 50% big, a correction coming back your way that you can absolutely make some money if there's a put option available. All right, guys, so that's it for the short squeezes. We're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to start talking about our swing trades. Now, how do we do these? The way we do these is we come over here to FinViz, and basically what we're looking for some insider transactions. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't make up any of this, okay? About 3 months back, Sean came out with a video about screeners that you could plug into this website. I'm sorry, filters. Filters that you can you can plug into this website, this screener, and you can get certain results, right? So I modified it a little bit, but not really, guys. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I took what he gave me and I plugged it in, and it was like magic. Okay, first of all, option trading is not something you're going to be successful on even 50% of the time. So the best option traders in the world aren't even, are maybe roughly 50%. 30% success is awesome when it comes to options. However, I was getting close to 70% success just doing this. Okay, and I actually paid for a subscription to that Fintel website and got way more in depth insider information and did 10 times as much work and got worse results somehow. So I'll explain here in a minute. First, I'm going to explain how I do it, and then I'm going to tell you which part I believe is the difference between here and Fintel and why I think this one works way more often. So anyway, when I was testing this, I was at a 70% success rate. So to wake up overnight and see, and what I look for is I look for roughly a 30% take profit or a 30% stop loss. So if I got a 30% negative, I just went ahead and cut it. If I got 30% win, I went ahead and took it. But there'd be mornings where I woke up and it was like 70% win. 80%, maybe 100 and something percent. And I was just like, heck yeah, and to see that stuff overnight, so consistently was just weird. Like it just never happened before. So anyway, this is what we're looking for. Here's the jewels. Here's the juice. I give it to you. Okay. So we're looking for change from open down. Actually, I gave it to you, but it is Deck, man. Deck put this together. I ain't gonna lie. Like, this is his stuff. But I did a little tweaking and here we are. So change from open is down. Okay. Performance is down. RSI is oversold. Now, this is the part that I believe is the reason why this is so successful, because just because there's insider transaction doesn't mean there's going to be some sort of movement. But the RSI already being one way or the other kind of gives you that extra layer of potential, right? It just kind of, I like it. It seems to help. So we got the RSI oversold. So the things that we don't really change are the fact that we want relative volume over 1 and we want price over 20. Oh, and then the optionable. So that's going to be the same on the put or the call side. Price over 20 because we just don't play small caps. Volume over 1. I cannot stress enough how option trading and volume are best friends and should go hand in hand and should never ever ever have one without the other. You have to do the buddy system with these guys. Okay, you got to work them together. They just have to. So volume super 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 important. So anyway, everything you guys see here, everything you see is down down down, oversold over. But what's the one thing? What one of these things is not like the other? What's the one thing that's different right now? It's the insider transactions. So the insider transactions right here says over 5%, which means they're adding to their positions. So in a situation where the ship is literally going down, guys, it's down to down to down to down. The insiders seem to think, this is a good time to add. Okay, so just that movement alone could change the momentum of the mob, right? It's something we went over in the masterclass with the mentality of the mob. So, and I talk about it all the time here in live. It's just just the insiders who are the insiders? The directors, the 10% shareholders, the VPs, the president, the CEO, all these guys. If they're all of a sudden adding positions and they're actually buying shares, then that might tell you that there's a turnaround coming. And even if there's not a turnaround coming, that could change the mentality of the mob, which could create a turnaround. And that's what we're looking for. So anyway, we get down here, we press it, and we actually see that there's nothing here, guys. So call swings overnight. We don't have anything here that we can play. But now we're going to go to the put side. Okay, so put, we're going to just do the opposite. Change from open, up. Performance today, up. RSI, overbought. So up, 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 up. Okay. Volume 1 is the same. Price over 20 is the same. Optionable is the same. Now, what's the one thing that's different? The insider transactions. The insiders are reducing their shares. They're reducing their holdings. Okay. So this gives us an idea of things that might be taking a turn for the worse coming up soon. Excuse me. Now, what's the one thing we're not looking for here? We don't, or actually two things. One is this first example here, ANF. We're not looking for things that are gradually making their way up, okay? This shows continuous growth. And this doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, well, even if we get a turnaround, how much is it really going to come dropping down, right? In order for options to be successful, as we know, we need bigger swings than that. So we want something that's swinging maybe a little, quicker, a little faster. Something like this would be absolutely amazing. However, that brings me to the second thing that we do not trade when it comes to this stuff, which is earning reports. Now, why wouldn't we trade an earnings report? Well, do you think, as an insider, somebody who has shares in the company, somebody who is potentially or most likely being awarded shares as part of their compensation package for being employed with the company, do you think them removing or reducing their holdings is any indication when you all of a sudden, or any indication that something's about to go bad, when you see that the price has hit this high price that possibly has never hit before or has not seen in months or years? To me, that's just smart. That's just profit taking. If I was being given 5,000 shares a year for my compensation for being with the company as part of my package, and then all of a sudden I seen the price skyrocket after an earnings report, I'm going to probably liquidate 5, 10, 15%, right? Why not? So I don't believe this indicates any sort of insider knowledge that the price is going to come down anytime soon. And because earnings are so volatile, they can take a very long time to consolidate and start making a new direction and start making a new trend. So it's better to just avoid them for a while. Something like this, it's been a little while after earnings. It's consolidated. It's making its decision to turn northwards. I would say this would be a great example of something that could absolutely come crashing down. We don't really see anything on the chart that shows weakness. So I would actually go to my chart here, MATX, right? And I would just go ahead and add it. Let's put it on the put side. Okay, add symbol, MATX. All right. And just keep an eye on it, right? If there's a VWAP, let's see the VWAP. Let's see it come under that VWAP, right? Or, let's see it come under some of these moving averages. Or, just do something to indicate that it's grown weak. Right now, we still see a bullish candle, just the 30-minute candle before this one. So, this wouldn't be something we just want to jump in right away. We want to just kind of keep an eye on it. But do I think this thing could take a turn to the south and at least dump to the MA soon? Absolutely. But we're not trying to gamble like that. Let's get some sort of clear confirmation. The insider transactions are awesome. That's going to kind of point us in the right direction. But then it's up to us to do the technical analysis and actually watch these charts, put up some trend lines, look at some previous levels, do some things to kind of give us a little bit of even more of a better idea of an entry, and then that's how we're going to be a little bit more successful on these, right? So let's go ahead and keep coming down that list. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we got this one's coming up pretty quick. It's post earnings, right? So same thing. It just hasn't shown any weakness, and anybody, most people I know are trend traders, so we're not going against the trend on these. We want to see something that's rapidly pumped up, doesn't have an earnings. Okay, so this one, okay, I like this one a lot. So this one's rapidly pumping up. It's showing signs of weakness. I would definitely put this on the list. Now, let me talk about something real quick. Rather than adding every single thing here to your list, watching it day to day, and then finally getting that perfect entry, then going over to find out that the option has no volume, why don't we just do that first? Okay, so let's go check out that option contract real quick. Okay, so we got an options trade right here. Okay, all right, and okay, so how do we know if there's volume? What do you guys see here? What's the first thing you guys see here? The buyers say that this contract, which is pretty much right next to the money, 24 days out, has plenty of time to hit $40. I mean, this is a very good contract in theory, but the buyers say, no, we're not even going to pay you a nickel for that, right? And then the sellers say, well, no, we know this could be in the money, all the things I just said. We're going to hold out. right? This is a killer for options. This is something you cannot trade. This is something where you're going to get in if you got a fill. You wouldn't get a fill on this, but if you got a fill on something that had a wide spread, and all of a sudden that price continued a little bit farther away from you where you picked, and you said, "Oh no, I'm down. I want to get out." You can't. You can't close it. You'll put in a market order first thing in the morning, and I promise you, at 3:59 that day, you will still have that order open. It will never fill, and you'll just keep losing money, and you can't even close it. Or maybe you woke up the next day and you think, "Oh man, I just doubled my money. Look at all this money I got," because now the sellers are saying it's worth even more, but the buyers haven't budged. They're still way down there. So now the spread has gotten even bigger, making you think that you got a profit and you never even made anything, and you darn sure can't close it. So this is a complete toxic way to try to play options. We do not do this. Also, if you get in here and the very first spread looks good, that might not be good enough, guys. Pull one strike away. Pull two strikes away. Get an idea. Okay, if this money moves a little bit, what do these spreads look like? You know, the buyers and sellers, are they agreeing on a price? Like when we look at SPY, that spread is always super tight. It's they agree. They agree on the price here. Sorry, just kind of I was thinking about options, but yeah. So that this is what we stay away from. This is the stuff, all the stuff I went over in my master class. We're getting a little too long winded with this. I'm going to wrap this up with the STEP once again earnings report. Okay, guys. So it looks like on our watch list, the one I'm the biggest fan of is maybe a put on MATX. I wouldn't jump in right away. Like I said, let it show you some sort of weakness, and then we'll roll from there. Sound good? All right. So the very last thing that we do before getting into our credit spread is we do straddles. Well, we don't actually have any straddles set up today, and let me tell you why. So when you go into the economic calendar, one of the two big things that we like to straddle are economic report or economic events, right? So Thursday at 8:30, there we have one. Okay, so tomorrow, you guys meet me back here tomorrow, same time, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to run over how we do it. We're going to run over, the entry. We're going to run over past success or failures, which we haven't had many failures lately, but they happen. And yeah, we'll go ahead and really focus on how to do these overnight straddles. So we really just focus. If you guys weren't here in the beginning, we focus on plays that people can do overnight. People can do at the end of the day. Maybe you can't be here at opening bell every day. Maybe the best you can do is look at your phone, and maybe close some positions in the morning. So we're trying to find stuff that you guys can play as well, right? So that's it. We do the shorts. We went over the shorts. We went over the swings. We went over the straddles. That's pretty much it. The insider stuff really just wasn't it today. MATX is it. Short squeeze stuff. I'm still interested in FFIE through the earnings. I don't know what it's going to do, but I did close my puts. If you guys weren't here earlier, I got out of those. I did not know the earnings was coming, right? So that was a big issue with that. So at this point, guys, we'll do a little question and answer. If you have anything you guys want to talk about or address, we got about 5 minutes until we start looking for this spread. And I'll be right back. I'm just going to get something to drink. Okay. All right, everybody. Whew. All right. So if it's your first day watching, today we are throwing away the past. I was able to grow my account by double using this end of the day credit spread strategy multiple times. 40 trading days roughly, but we can't trade every day, so it comes out to about 2.5, 3 months. So over the next 2.5, 3 months, we're going to run it right here in front of you guys, $5,000 a day. Now I do say $5,000, but in reality, you have to be able to buy yourself out of these contracts. Okay. So if you literally did just have a $5,000 account and you put that $5,000 as collateral to enter these positions, you would have no money to buy yourself back out if you were losing. So in reality, excuse me, you would need a little bit more than $5,000 to get started. However, with 10 contracts, the way we're going to. However, you guys can start as cheap as $500 for one contract, and just consider roughly like a 70 cents per contract buyout fee. So right around $70 to try to get out of that contract. It's probably the most that you'd have to pay. Let's say $100. Keep like $100 buffer for every 500. Okay, so for 10 contracts, I would say $6,000 is safe. That way, you have a little bit of money to buy yourself back out. Okay, so if you guys have not ever sold options before, you've only bought them, then you're not playing today. If you guys have never paper traded selling options, or you don't know how to get in and out and you don't really understand a lot about it, you're not trading today. I'm going to put a thing on the screen here as we go along to let everybody know, just in case anybody's not really listening audibly, that they need to be very, very careful. Okay, this is I said in my masterclass, arguably the top 3 riskiest approaches you can take on in trading. Okay, top 5, I don't know, arguably. See, arguably, what does arguably mean? I'm gonna start arguing. I don't want to argue. All right, so basically what we're doing is we're doing an end of the day credit spread. I go over everything in the masterclass. You guys are going to need to watch that. There's all these little details that you might not catch. Stuff like, days that we're not going to trade, things that you got to look for, the actual approach. What are we doing? So, today we've had a pretty good sideways day. We love that as option sellers. Option buyers hate it. So as option sellers, we love sideways. Don't love this big dump that we just had. Now, we went over Thursday in pretty extensive detail what happens to an options contract when there's a lot of movement that day. The volatility will create inflated values on one side and it will deflate the values on the other side, making our job so much harder, if not impossible, right? So what we look for is we look for an end of the day credit spread. We don't enter before 3:30. A couple times I entered at like 3:26, 3:27, and there's just this weird swing sometimes right at 3:30. If you guys have ever traded these or tried to trade these on Robinhood, Robinhood will actually automatically close your selling positions if they expire that day at 3:30. So I don't know if them having this massive closing of all these positions creates some sort of weird volatility. I'm not sure why it happens, but sometimes you just get these huge swings. So the days that we don't like to trade are days that there's been already way, way, way too much movement. If there's an economic day event the next day, like FOMC, where there's a lot of volatility in the market, volatility. I mean, that's pretty. I'm sorry, volume. Volume is what we're trying to escape right now. We don't want a lot of people trading. We want a lot of people just over it. So you don't want to see big candles. We don't want to see big swings because, even if we decide we want to go ahead and sell a contract way up here, just a little bit of a momentum swing in the last 15, 20 minutes can bring us to our stop loss of -2 or 300% and make it to where we lose. And that's not what we're here to do. So, there's certain days that we're really just going to have to be smart and not play. So let's take a look at the options contracts. Today is the first day of the challenge. I would hate to tell you guys, oh, hey, I don't think we're taking a trade, but definitely would hate even more to lose on our first day of a challenge. So let's see how this goes, right? So we see that we've basically been in this canal for most of the day. Let's see, right about here. Okay. And then we even broke it, retested, and then fell out of it. Okay. And then we got a nice bounce line here. So all we're doing now, guys, is when we set this up, we're going to be on one side or the other. and we want to get as far away as possible. We're looking for 10 cents or 15 cents, and we want to get as far away as possible. And we want a bunch of trip wires. These things, these resistance and support lines. Okay, these resistance and support lines are going to act like stop losses for us. Yeah, we're looking for negative 200, 300% as well. But if it's before a few of these lines, and you feel pretty good about them holding up, you don't necessarily have to get out of that position. Maybe you're at your negative 200 or 300%, and you're like, I'm going to hold it just 100 more percent because of where it's at. It's about to turn around, right? So these support and resistance lines are always super important. Here it looks like we got a bunch of bounces off the same line up here, so I'm gonna grab that as well. I think this is where yeah, it bounced a lot off of that stuff. Okay, so it looks like we got a pretty good field here as far as stuff that it could possibly bounce off of. I like this one too. We could come down here. Okay. So, ideally, we would go ahead and grab ourselves a 5250 put contract from here. If we could get the value later in the day that we want, and we would just see, hey, is that going to be something we can actually get? Yeah, let's do it right now live for you guys. Okay, so here we go. So I'm interested. Now let's talk about it. Which way would we want to get in today? I just see a lot of sideways movement, but we did see it broke that channel and started to the downside. So if anything, the most likely thing that we're going to see happen is one of two things. Either it wants to come back here into this channel and it's going to break back into here, right? Or it's going to reverse soon and make its way back down and continue this downward movement. Okay. Most likely, I believe it's going to actually hang out right here around this moving average line, this EMA right here. I feel like it wants to be there, right? So, as we enter, that's how we decide if we want to go put, if we want to go call. You can absolutely do both sides. All of that is explained in the master class as far as your options. And it also tells you that you don't want to enter at the same time. You want a little bit of momentum, a tiny bit of momentum to kind of push your way a little bit and give you a better entry, right? So we're below this moving average. We had a downtrend. This is tough, guys. This is tough. I feel like it'll be sideways. Could we get a contract up here? Could we be at 53.25 call side? Let's check it out. So this is how we would enter. We would just come in right here, 53.25. Now remember, the sell side is going to be the closest to the money, and the buy is going to be the next one out. So 53.30 is going to be the next one out. All right. And this is going to be on the call side. So what they're telling us is that this is just too far away. We're hoping and dreaming for something we're not going to get. All right, so let's come down one. Let's see if we come down in here. Can we get a fill right there? So we're going to go here. We're going to go here. Okay, so 53.20, 53.25. Still nothing. See, and this is what we were talking about, guys. So because of the downward movement today, the call side is a little beaten up. So what they want us to do is they want us to keep getting closer and closer and closer, which we don't love. And that's not, if we're going to make money doing this, we can't get that close to the money. Okay. The absolute closest that I would be willing to get today would be this right here, this 53.15. We have a line here to protect us. We got a line here to protect us. We got the moving average to protect us. However, we have 25 minutes left, guys. Just a little bit of movement in the direction we pick can absolutely stop us out. So, do I feel good about entering right this second? No. Let's go ahead and give it a second. All right. So from 333 to 337 is my optimal beginning of my entry, and then 345 is when I'm like, man, am I going to get in something or not? And sometimes I get in right at the end, but and that's something I want to talk to you guys about too. So these numbers that I've gone over with you as far as how quick you can double your account. Well, I mean, as you guys will see, I am paper trading. So the fills are being generated, fictitiously. So in order to get the fills late in the day like this, you might actually have to come down an increment, which would be 50 less bucks a day, which over time is going to add up. So do I still think that you guys can double your account within 3 months? Absolutely. I've kind of given it that wiggle room, but that is something to kind of consider, that I am paper trading, so the numbers might be a little bit different for you guys once you're ready to start doing cash. All right, so it looks like it's trickling out. I mean, it's not showing a lot of forward momentum, that's for sure. Moving average looks okay for now. Let's see. Let's just see what they're offering us for the 15. And we get nothing. We got nothing as an offer, guys. Now, as a rule of thumb, even late in the day, I don't like to get closer than like 15 strikes away, which is exactly where that is, right? So that would be, you add 15 to the 5,300, that's 5,315. Now, how easy would it be to jump 5-10 points? Not hard at all. And when you have one of these contracts, for it to make up that amount of distance in between where you are, I don't love it, guys. I don't love it. Okay, so we got 5 cents here now. All right, so it is coming up there. All right, so what we could do, all right, is looks like we're going to be entering both sides of this bad boy today. As of right now, it's on an uptrend. I don't want to fight that, guys. I don't want to fight that. To me, it looks like it was on a downtrend all day. I know that it's coming back up, but it's still in a downward momentum. Um, this is rough. This is rough. This is day one. I don't want to get a bad entry. I don't want to lead you guys down the bad road. We're watching this, man. We want to see that big winner chicken dinner. So let's see what we can do on the put side. How's that sound, guys? Because like I said, it's just curling up. It's pushing that side. If we get a rejection here, I think we're good. I feel like we can get both sides, though. I just don't like how we're so. I knew the call side would be beaten up, right? So now the problem with the put side is that they'll be juicier, so we can get far away. But because of this expected movement all day, it won't take too much movement to start adding more and more value to them, which means we could get stopped out quicker on that side too, right? So even if we get stopped out, guys, even if we take a loss, I'm going to show you guys how with this strategy, when we lose, we actually still win, and we barely lose anything. So how's that sound? Rather than me being nervous, if we lose, worst case scenario, you guys will see how it works, and you'll see that we'll be able to actually get a premium on the losing side and a premium on the winning side, and we'll take a win on one side and a loss on one side, worst case scenario, right? That's just how it's going to be for us. So I can see us taking one side or the other. And then if it starts moving in that direction and we start looking like we're going to get stopped out, we can go ahead and just enter the other side. So the entry on the other side will be almost a guaranteed winner. And then we'll collect that premium on that losing side too. Sound good? All right. So, I mean, I don't like saying the word lose as I'm about to enter a trade, because that's not what's going to happen. We're going to win, 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 win. But I just, first day, I got everybody watching. I'm a little nervous. All right, we're good. I'm going to calm down. I like that call side. The first thing we were going to do. Can't get in for the price I want, though, so we'll have to just keep an eye on that one. Sound good? If it turns up a little bit more, maybe we can get it. I don't really think we're going to get that one. I got to be honest with you. It wants to curl back down here, so that's where we're going to get the value at. So let's see if we can jump in all the way down here at 52.50 on the put side. So we open up a vertical side, 52.50, which it's a mile away. There's no way we're going to get that, but hey, let's see what happens. Guys, also not a bad idea to check this every once in a while. Once a month, they do have an AM contract. That was a big issue the other day. It's the third Thursday when all the monthly contracts are due. On that day, they will have a 0-day contract dated for the next day. So make sure that it is the day, and make sure that there's not an AM contract there. That's never a bad idea. That almost caught us the other day in a big, big way. All right, guys, I'm super far away here, and it looks like they almost want to give me some fill right here. So let's kind of inch up a little bit. No, nothing there, nothing there. Let's come over here. Boom, boom. Nope, still not going to give us nothing. I don't blame them. We're talking the end of the day, guys. That would be easy money way down there, right? So, we're not going to do that backwards, guys. We got to sell the leg that is closer. Always sell the leg that is closer. So we're coming up here a little bit. All right, looks like we're going to get some love right around 75. So 75 maybe put us in. No, going to have to be 80. Oh, that's brutal right there. So there we go. So we can get a fill right now, guys, about 20 points, about 16, 17 points away. Just, I don't love it. I gotta be honest with you guys. I feel like it's gonna come on down. I feel like it wants to come on down. Um, I don't love it. So if we're gonna come down here, we're gonna come down here. Let's go 75 to 70. How many tripwires does that give us? That gives us a couple. That gives us a couple tripwires. That gives us a couple lines of defense here. As long as it don't break here, we'll be okay. I don't love going against the trend though, especially as it's bleeding, because then we're gonna get more value here. 52.75. All right, so guys, we're coming up on that 3:45 time where I really like to be in a trade buy. I like to finally make my decision of what I think it's going to do, and I have made my decision. I think it's going to come on down here. Um, I guess right here would be the closest. No, it's too close, guys. It's too close. Okay, 15 points away. All right, 15 points away. So 50. Okay, all right, all right, all right. So we're gonna go call side. We're gonna go 310. And then the next leg out is going to be what? 315, right, guys? All right. So we're going to see if we can get in here. We don't take 5 cents. Remember the master class. Too easy to lose that way, right? So we do not take 5 cents. We want that 10-cent fill. Um, I am not coming any closer. This is already way too close. I don't love how close this is. It only takes a little bit of an upturn right here to put us in danger zone, right? And then how many tripwires do we have? We got none. We got one tripwire. I would love to be right here. I would much rather be right here. So, we can put in an order, see if it fills. It's maybe the best thing to do right now. Let this figure itself out. Maybe it'll break up there and give us some love. All right, guys. So I do want to point out that look how much collateral they want you to jump into that. So it's going to be about $485 for one contract. And with a 15-cent, probably not going to get 15 cents. That'd be nice though, right? Where's this at again? 15? Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, all right. So this would get you about $100 minus some fees. You look at about 78 bucks roughly, 77.50. Okay. So this is how we grow our account over time. That account that I was able to double from 5 to 10, it was actually 11,500 roughly in gains, but the fees ate up about $1,500 of that. So we do add up the fees with that. We do take all that into account because running this on Robinhood is impossible. It's not going to work. Running this on Webull, it will work, but when you decide that you want to close one side and enter the other side instead, they will charge you double the collateral. So guys, it looks like we were right about it just wanting to kind of come on down. I still don't feel good about being right here at the 10 mark. We'll look at it one more time, and it's hard to do anything with options when you're in all-time high territory, when you've recently been in all-time high territory. It's just a lot. Or if you just have a lot of movement. I mean, this initial morning dump right here, just really look at this. At this point, the options value makers, or no, that wasn't this morning. Sorry, that was Thursday, right? That was Thursday. Okay. So after moves like this, the option makers don't really know what's what, right? They don't know. They don't know fucking. Excuse me. They don't know the. Excuse me. They don't know the value of these contracts, so it throws them off a little bit. All right, so let's get back where we want to be, guys. 15 points away. It is getting late. We want an entry right about now. Here we go. Here we go. All right, call side. Let's see if we can get 10 cents. This is where I feel comfortable being today. This is where I want to be. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get a fill. It's only got to come up a little bit right here. Hopefully to give us the value. We're looking for 10 or 15 cents every time. Why? Because we want consistency. The nickel's not going to work because it's going to hit that -2 or 300% that much easier. It only takes a little swing to make a contract worth 15, 20 cents and to take you out of the game, right? But if you get in for 10 cents, well, now you're looking at 30 to 40 cents as a close number, and it takes a little bit more, especially at the end of the day, to give one of these options that kind of value. So it protects you a little bit. All right. So we're looking here, guys. We just want a little bit of an uptick. We'd like to just see a little bit of an uptick here. because I'm not coming any closer. There's no way that, I mean, right now we got the MA, which feels good, sure. But I mean, look, first of all, that's the 5 minute MA. Every candle has its own MA. You can see the 30 is actually above it, so how good is a 5 minute MA anyway? I don't know. But anyway, so only having this one major support here where it bounced off of a couple times today and a couple times yesterday, you know, that feels good having that. That's why we put these lines up there. But does that say that this thing's not going to blast on through? Absolutely not. So, excuse me. All right, so being even right here, guys, I feel is just dangerous, and it's only like this because the options are beat up. It's only like this because there's been so much volatility lately, and it just this is going to be like this for a while. Once we get away from the all-time high stuff, once we get away from one of these top five companies doing their earning reports, we're not hopefully wouldn't see giant swings that are just going to make all the options values confused. If it's on the other side, they're deflated. If it's on one side, they're inflated. And trading that, especially as an option seller, becomes extremely difficult. All right, so guys, I do like the call side. I do feel like, if anything, it's still going to kind of venture down. We see that it is in a general downtrend for the day. I feel good about our call, about it, just wanting to kind of trickle off. However, I can't be clear about this enough. If you guys come in even closer and even closer and even closer, because you guys see there's a pretty good line here, right? Maybe you want to put a shelf right here and say, okay, well, I got a line here, and then put one even closer. Oh, I got one here. And then next thing you know, you're like right here. It's only going to take a very little bit of movement in that direction to inflate that contract really, really quickly, guys. And when you're selling, the only way you lose is if it crosses your line. If we're up here, let's say that top green line is actually where we are, where we sold. As long as this price doesn't go all the way up there and cross it, we win. So, why would you get so close, where that could be a thing? You could literally lose everything, 100% of the collateral. So, guys, as we just said would happen, I expected it to kind of trickle off, take that downward, look. Can we get in here at '05? I really don't like it. We got a lot of people watching though, and I know everybody wants to see that winner chicken dinner. That being said, the closer we get, the more we risk it, right? So, okay, let's say this. If it keeps going south, and we'll give like a couple more minutes, right? If it keeps coming south and it doesn't look like it's really going to do anything but just stay right here, '05 is okay. I would say at that point you could go, 53.05, buy the next side, get at least 10 cents for it where it's at now. But would I enter this right now? Absolutely not. Because it only takes a little bit of an uptick. Let's say it wanted to snap back to the MA right now. Well, now it's only 5 points away and there's still enough time. The value can absolutely start climbing on us, right? The value can start climbing on us. So just give it another minute or two. It looks like we're going to be safe. It looks like it's made up its mind to just kind of dump out here. But we get a snapback candle like this as we're entered on that position, and it goes all the way to this MA in a quick manner. That could put you at that negative 200% already, right? As a matter of fact, I kind of hope it does snap back there right now so we can get the entry where we originally wanted it, which was just 5 higher. We wanted to just get a little higher than this. So as of right now, we are just a little too close. This is where we want to be, right? Oh, it looks like we might actually, nope. I was going to say, it looks like we might actually get an entry here. Nope. They said, nope, not worth anything. So because of the movement, because of, the stuff that we've seen recently, like I said, this drastic stuff right here, this changes things a lot for the values of these things. So it makes the selling side of this a little bit tricky, right? So it looks like it's going to make its way back up. I like that, but I don't know if we're going to get value where we want it, guys. I really don't. So let's see. Coming back down here. We're still at 10 cents. Probably even get a fill at 15 right now. We could also think about the put side at 75 down here. And now that we're so late in the day, if we could actually get money down there at 75, that is what, 25 away, so or 20 away, so probably less likely that you could get a fill down there. Let's check it out. 52.75, 52.70, and we're gonna go put side, and let's see what it says. Now, towards the end of the day, I've had a little issue with Thinkorswim where it'll take about a good 5 seconds to figure it out, right? All right, so they're saying we cannot get a fill down there. And if we wanted to come any closer, we really just wouldn't have any line. We'd just be right here, I guess 80. 80, I guess, would be the absolute closest that I could even imagine taking this late in the day and still no value, right? So doing this so late in the day is rough. It's all about kind of like when exactly you can get a fill, right? When exactly are you going to be able to get in? Now that it's so late in the day, on an actual cash account, I don't think that you would even get a fill. I got to be honest with you. But I mean, I was hoping to just put up, get a fill, put on some music for you guys and ride it out. Let's have some fun. But okay, so this right here shows you what I was talking about. So if we entered for that 10 cent, we would already be at a negative 100%. And it only went up just a couple points. It didn't even really do anything. If it snapped all the way to the MA, you could have already been at negative 200% and stopped out, right? So that's how quick that could go. All right, guys. Well, 315 is way up here. I would love to be up there, guys. Next time we're going to have to get an entry maybe just a little bit earlier. At this point, it definitely has taken an upward turn. I do think that we're safe, at least from here at 52.80, that last spot that I was looking at. And then right here, 52. Ooh, here we go. It's on its way up there. Okay, so 52.10. Let's look at 52.10. Let's see if we can get an entry right now. Right now. Let's see if we can get one. 10 cents. Go. Am I doing it right? Let's see here. Boom. Sell. Boom. Call. Yep, everything's right. Let's see. Let's see. I doubt it, guys. It's really late in the day. Yeah, it's already down to 2 cents again. So I mean, that puts us pretty close. What is it? 310 is where I'm at right now. Yeah. So that puts us pretty close. We really only have this shelf here and then this small shelf here as a stop loss, plus the MA. We got multiple times now that it's hit the MA once, twice, 3 times. I say it looks like it could break to the upside. I say it looks like it wants to break to the upside. At this point, I would say the puts would be the better option. Can we get right here, 52.85? It's all about that momentum, guys. Because what we're betting is that it's not going to completely turn around in this amount of time, right? It has to stop and then it has to turn around and come back at you. I bet this has got nothing. Yeah. So yeah, it's just too late in the day, guys. I don't think we're going to get a fill. I know we wanted to start the challenge today, but with the all-time highs and a few other situations, we didn't get a fill. You guys seen it. We went for it. Do we still have an order out there on the call side? No. I mean, it's so late in the day. 305. I bet we probably could get 305. It's just so close. I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the loss. We don't trade that way. It knocks on that door over and over again. Eventually, it's going to kick it on through, So, I feel really good about getting a put down here at 52.80 if you could. If not, let's just go ahead and ride it out, guys. Tomorrow, we're going to be back at the same time. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and run down the short squeezes. We're going to go ahead and do the swing trades. We're going to take a look at MATX to see if that thing ever did come on down. Keep a look at it throughout the day. Once it shows like it wants to completely tank, go ahead and grab it for a put. I'm okay with that. You would be putting it at the very least, back down to the moving averages. I would say 30 minutes. I like that. So you got a nice put all the way on down to 118 if you wanted to get somewhere around there as a strike. But like I said, let's make sure it's run out of momentum first. If you wake up tomorrow and it's a huge gap down and you missed it, you missed it. Don't worry. We're going to find more plays all the time. Don't FOMO in anything. All right. And then as far as the short squeezes, I gave my predictions as far as GameStop. DJT is my number one that I've been really just watching. So yeah, if you missed anything, we're gonna go ahead and rewind it, check it out from the beginning. We're gonna be back here tomorrow. We're gonna run this thing for you day after day, guys. If you haven't seen anything about the short squeezes and why I'm so confident that you're gonna be able to steadily grow your account, I'm gonna show these one last time before deleting them. This is what I was able to accomplish once I was. I mean, first of all, I've been doing these for a year, but I changed them from an all day strategy to an end of the day strategy, right? So why did it do the same one twice? Give me a second here. Okay. So here you'll see that on losing days, go ahead and pause this if you guys need to, or, just really look at them. But what you'll see is on losing days here, is my face in the way? There we go. On losing days, we still win. Right. So any losing day that you'll see, there's still wins surrounding it. We'll either lose a minimal amount of money or we'll end up winning more than we lost. You'll also see that there's a full month roughly in between wins and losses. It's just a very, very consistent strategy. But the only way we can be consistent is doing what we did today, right? So you will see on this list there's a negative $520. Did it literally just yeah, it keeps flipping to that's really weird that it does that. So anyway, there was a negative. You can rewind it. So there's a negative 520 on there, but on that trade, I ended up actually making back 720 back out of it. Relative volume help out all on the squeeze scanner. Yeah, do yourself a favor. Let's talk about that real quick. The squeeze scanner. Do yourself a favor and play around with that a little bit, right? So give me just a second. So yeah, there's so much data there. I feel like there's more to it than meets the eye, right? So when I notice that something is absolutely like mid squeeze, you'll notice that the institutional transactions will dump. So like how Hollow is dumping right now, I went and looked at Hollow and it doesn't necessarily look like it's happening. It didn't look like it was squeezing at all. So I don't know if that was an indication that that's before it's going to happen. I do know that Hollow has been squeezed and squeezed and squeezed again. So, at this point, we're on the back end of a really big squeeze here that you guys can see that played out really nicely. So would I jump in on Hollow? Heck no. But I am curious on, why all of a sudden the institutions that own that are all dumping. And does this indicate that the short's about to happen, or the squeeze, the actual movement, the upwards movement is about to happen? Because last time I looked at this, when I seen a negative 90% or more, I went and looked at the price, and it was in the middle of dumping, or within the last day or two. And this one had been dumped already, and then all of a sudden they're dumping a bunch more. So just really weird to me at this point. I would say that the institutional ownership is like super low, but there's definitely more juice here, right? You guys can take a look at these, and as far as when the insiders are making transactions, when the institutions are making transactions, compare the float short to other things. But if you guys go watch my masterclass, this isn't something we have to do to figure it out ahead of time, or that we don't have to be psychics. We don't have to try to run all the numbers and figure it out ahead of time. All you have to do is find it while it's happening. All you have to do is be able to identify it. Ugh, sorry, is to identify it while the squeeze is actually happening and then get in and play however you play. We have 5 different ways in the masterclass if you guys haven't seen it, right? So same thing with BuzzFeed the other day when that squeezed up. Let's go back to 5-minute candles here. All right. Hey, bell, guys. That's the bell. Hope you guys won some money. All right. So, yeah, right here, when this squeezed up, I woke up the next day and I was like, hey, this has got to come crashing down. So I went ahead and grabbed a put and caught a really nice one. So, it's really just, it's up to you to use the screeners and scanners. If you guys are just watching right now, go back to the beginning here in a second when I stop the live and go watch it and see like how we do it. And then with the masterclass, they have a way for you to create a watch list and to do it from there. So not only are you going to be able to identify it, make watch lists, have the knowledge of when it's actually happening, which is what we went over for you here today live, okay, which is right here. Market movers, right? So now we can actually catch them when they're actually happening. Didn't go. There we go. Now we can catch them when they're actually happening, right? And then we can go ahead and get ready for how the movement's going to play out. So, between the masterclass and between a few of the live shows, we're going to keep hammering down on this stuff. We're definitely going to catch some nice, juicy swings, squeezes. Right now, I did tell everybody that I am in on DJT on the upside, and I am in on GameStop on the downside. And I explained where my strikes were and where my expirations were. So, guys, that's going to be it for me today. The bell has rung. That's it. I'm tapping out like a UFC fighter that got beat up. I think my throat is sore at this point from all this talking. I know that this is a really loaded show, and it's very different than a lot of the other Tradecaster shows here. Guys, feel free to look this stuff over and over, take notes, go to my YouTube channel and rewatch any video that you need to rewatch if I'm not live here anymore, because I try to leave it live a little bit for you guys so you can go ahead and keep watching. But if that, if it's not, just go to YouTube. I don't mean to just attack you guys with all of this data, but first of all, it all works. Okay, so I'm not giving you guys anything that I'm still testing. I'm just giving you guys the stuff that works. Okay, the shorts, getting puts on the way down has worked like gangbusters. Options can be very profitable. So a big swing in your direction, you can do very, very well. The swing trades with the overnight, 70% success rate. It was stupid. Insider transactions plus RSI, something about the combination of the two was giving me some really, really, really good results. Because I was testing, I was able to keep them going a little longer, and some of them were 200% gainers. So it's pretty wild what those are able to accomplish. The straddles, we're winning time and time again. We went up like 70% on a $300 straddle the time before last. The last one could have made a few $100 as well. So there's gold here, guys. There's gold in Scrooge's gold vault, which is I think what I'm going to change the show to instead of the juice bar. I think it's going to be the gold vault. And then the spreads. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to see those in action. Things have been a little volatile lately. Volume's crazy. Everything's crazy right now. Nvidia has put us into a weird place. Nobody knows what's happening right now. But I believe sky's the limit. I'm bullish on all of it. I'm having a good old time. As far as which way SPY's going. What is it? J Trade said he's seen $600 incoming. So yeah, let's talk about running it all the way up. So using this credit spread strategy, guys, you can make money on the high side. You can make money on the low side. It doesn't really matter. So we're gonna have fun no matter what, guys. I'm gonna take it out with a little bit of music. I want to thank you guys for coming out. We will see you guys next time in 3, 2.
Step up to